I, 40 years old female, have been married to my husband Sam, 41 years old male, for 10 years. We have 4 children, 22 years old, 16 years old, 14 years old, and 11 years old. And up until the last few months, I genuinely thought that we could work through anything. This is not the only situation that has happened in the last few years, just the one that finally broke me. I recently had a birthday, and Sam planned a surprise birthday party for me. He spilled the beans to me 3 days before the party, and I thought it was adorable that he was so excited about the party that he couldn't contain himself. I wish this was the case. Instead, he told me that I needed to help him clean the house to get it ready for my party. Yes, you read that right. I needed to prepare food and set the house for my own party. I agreed to clean to keep the peace, but was upset. The day of the party quickly came, and I was devastated to learn that he didn't invite most of my friends or family. He claimed that he didn't know how to contact them. The final straw came when he carried out a cake in a flavor that he loved, nothing that I would ever choose for myself. I barely managed to keep it in and cried in the bathroom after everyone left. I feel like an afterthought and hated listening to everyone compliment him for throwing me a party. I work 2 jobs, take care of the kids, do all of the meal planning, grocery shopping, and most of the housework. I am exhausted and just wanted to feel appreciated for a day. Am I the idiot for considering divorce because I feel he doesn't care? I just can't imagine throwing away 10 years of marriage, but I feel broken. Now for an update. Whoa, this blew up overnight. Let me start by answering a few common questions that seem to be popping up in the comments. We have been together for almost 14 years. The oldest child is his, the middle 2 are mine, and the youngest is ours. Yes, my husband does work in a labor-intensive job, so it made logical sense for me to pick up a second job when money was tight. The problems in our marriage are not new, but I struggle with standing up for myself when it comes to him. I did have one family member that attended the party and one friend. The friend was upset for me and couldn't believe that he didn't try to ask her for help with planning. As for my marriage, there are other issues than this party, as many of you kindly pointed out. I constantly feel that I am walking on eggshells around him, and one of the children recently told me that they hate how he treats me. There was a recent altercation at a family event that brought our problems out in the open. I would say that 60% of the time things are wonderful, and 40% of the time I am unhappy. He let himself go in the last 5 years, and hygiene has become a major issue for him. I struggle with this because I really take care of myself. He tends to overreact to the little things, which makes me feel that I can't tell him how upset I am. Today, I will be contacting a marriage therapist, and I plan on finding a therapist for myself as well. I don't know if this marriage is salvageable, but I can't continue to live like this. I love this man with all of my heart, but I want to be with someone who wants to touch me and love me for me. I hope that the marriage counselor can help us figure out more. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot sounds like this is an ongoing issue that reflects that he is just selfish and self-centered. If he didn't even invite your friends and family, then he actually threw himself a party. Maybe trying marriage counseling first might help you save it, but it's understandable if your husband is always this selfish that you've had enough. Comment 2. WTAF, I don't think he planned anything. Almost sounds like he went, "Oh, I don't know what to do for her birthday. I'll lie about a surprise and make her do all the work." Not the idiot noddle. Now for the update. I'm 40, my husband, 41, planned a birthday party for me that made me feel unappreciated. An update. It's been 3 days since the birthday party. I decided to take some action regarding my marriage with Sam. I've been struggling with this for years, and I felt like I needed to confront him about it. I took some time to write down everything that I felt was wrong in our relationship. I wrote down specific examples, like when he forgot to pick up my prescription, even though I reminded him 3 times. Or when he didn't come to my work party because he was too tired from work, but he expects me to come to his work parties. I wrote down the time I had the flu, and he made me get up in the middle of the night to help our son when I told him I was too sick to get out of bed. Then I wrote down the time I asked him to help me with the kid's birthday party, and he told me to ask my ex. I felt proud of myself for finally standing up for myself and writing down everything that was wrong. I thought about it and confronted Sam with the list. I asked him why he didn't invite my friends to the party. He said he had too much going on with work and the kids. I told him it wasn't an excuse. I told him he could have asked anyone in front of me how to contact my friends. I told him he could have asked me instead of doing everything without me. He brushed off my concerns and said he had too much going on. I didn't know if he meant the party or in general. I wanted to talk to him about everything, but he just kept brushing me off. I decided to do something about it. I made a plan for us to have a family dinner at our house. I invited the kids to join us, hoping they would support me and notice the way I was treated. I made a big dinner and set the table nicely. I told the kids what I was planning when they got home. They seemed a little nervous, but said they would support me. I was relieved to hear that. Sam came home late from work. I told him I wanted to have a family dinner and talk about some things. He said okay and went to take a shower. During dinner, I brought up how Sam never prioritizes me, and he interrupted me, saying it wasn't the time. The kids were visibly uncomfortable. They could sense the tension between us. My oldest child spoke up and said they noticed how Sam treats me, and it really bothers them. That caught me off guard. Sam got defensive and said the kid was overreacting and didn't understand. After dinner, Sam stormed off to the garage. I was frustrated, but I followed him. I told him he can't just ignore me and shut me out. He said I was making him look bad in front of the kids. That made me so mad. The youngest child overheard us arguing and asked if we were getting a divorce. I reassured them that we were just working through some things, but I felt a pang of guilt. I didn't want them to have to deal with this. I made a plan to see a marriage therapist. I hoped to get Sam on board with this. I researched local therapists and found one that specialized in couples counseling. That evening, I texted Sam the name of the therapist and asked him to make an appointment with me. He read the message but didn't respond for several hours. The next morning, he finally replied, saying he didn't want to go to therapy and thought we could work it out ourselves. I insisted that we needed help and that therapy wasn't a sign of weakness. I spent the day gathering my thoughts, and I noticed Sam's lack of effort to engage with me. At dinner that night, I brought it up again, emphasizing the need for professional help. Sam remained dismissive and said he didn't see the point in talking to someone else. That weekend, we went to a family gathering for an upcoming holiday celebration. The tension was so high. I tried to engage with my family, but Sam kept isolating himself. During the gathering, I overheard Sam laughing with a relative about how he was handling me. That felt like such a betrayal. I confronted Sam about it privately, and that led to another argument. He accused me of being overly sensitive and not appreciating his efforts. I decided at that moment to schedule an appointment with the therapist, regardless of whether he wanted to go or not. I told him I would be going alone if he refused to join. Days later, I received an email from the therapist confirming my first session. I informed Sam about my appointment and reiterated that it was a necessary step for me. He finally agreed to attend with me, but stated he would go to humor me. We attended the first therapy session together, where the therapist encouraged us to communicate openly. Sam started to share his side, albeit reluctantly. At the end of the session, the therapist suggested we try a couples exercise for the next week. Edit. I realized Sam wasn't truly invested in the therapy process after our first session. He often dismissed the exercises and showed little effort. I continued attending sessions, focusing on myself and my needs. With the therapist's guidance, I gained clarity and confidence. I recognized the importance of prioritizing my happiness and well-being. After a few weeks, I felt ready to make significant decisions for my future, even if it meant ending my marriage. The sessions were invaluable for my personal growth. Am I the idiot for cutting off my ex's wife after she tried to replace me as my kid's mom? Am I the idiot for cutting off my ex-husband's meddling wife and demanding sole communication with him? Am I the idiot for cutting off communication with my ex's new wife after she disrespected our parenting agreements. My 50-year-old female, 10 and 13-year-old children are at their dad's, 52-year-old male, for the summer. We divorced 10 years ago, and he remarried almost immediately. She was the affair. After some counseling, we co-parent pretty well, most of the time, but my ex's wife, 32-year-old female, I'll call her Becky, is just a bit much. I really tried to like her, but she talks a lot, is very opinionated, and has a tendency to interfere with our parenting agreements. She'll cause delays in pickup times and phone calls by hiding their phone. She's tried to get them to refer to her as mom. And last week, she took them to a theme park that my husband and I had already made plans and bought the tickets to take them to when we came down next week to visit. Their dad was unaware that she was planning it as he was out of town on business that day. I was very upset, but I let it go once my ex and I spoke about it. He assured it wouldn't happen again. 2 days ago, my son called to ask me some personal questions as they wanted to look up my family history on an ancestry site. I told him to wait and we would do that together when he came home. I had signed up for a genealogy site a few months ago to help my mom. I signed in today and found 2 family matches in the town that my ex lives in. Becky did exactly what I asked her not to do. We had previously discussed social media and computer access, and I was very explicit that I didn't want my kids' info out there. When I called her, at first she denied it, but after I pressed, she admitted that she did and didn't think it was a big deal. It is to me. First, my wishes were completely ignored. Second, there are things in my family's past that while I am not a part of and it can't be changed, I feel like I should have had the chance to prepare them for, with the nuance it deserves. My great-grandfather was not a good person. I really blew up and told her that she is only their stepmother. They are not her children, and she has no right to stick her nose into our affairs. I know I said some pretty vicious things that truly escaped me, but my F's were all gone. Of course, she cried to my ex, who called me and yelled at me for upsetting Becky. I told him that I was not going to deal with her anymore, that all communication will only be between him and me, and to have the kids' stuff packed up and ready to go home when we came next week, as they will not be back for a while. Our visitation schedule is very flexible, but I am the primary parent and have the final say. My ex said that I was being stupid and overdramatic. My kids are upset that Becky is upset and are telling me that I am being unnecessarily mean. My husband is rightfully staying out of it, but has said I should let it go, as she's just too dumb to understand what she did. Am I being unreasonable? To add for clarification. 1. Yes, Becky was an affair partner. I found out about her while pregnant. Our divorce was finalized a few weeks after I had our son. 2. Ex moved 5 hours away with Becky when he moved out. 3. Our custody arrangement is the original agreement. I am primary and ex has visits when we mutually agree. It was written this way because my son was an infant and nursing and my daughter was a toddler. Long visits weren't feasible at the time. I don't think he really wanted much more as he has never asked for more. 4. When ex travels during visits, the kids usually go to his mother's home. She's an absolute saint. Unfortunately, she was unavailable this time. 5. Becky's interest in my kids was pretty neutral until about 3 years ago. 6. The ancestry site was the catalyst for my anger. This had been brewing for a while. Hope this answers some questions. Now for an update. Crap hit the fan late last night. Got a call from my daughter. Ex and Becky had a big blow-up and ex left the house. I called ex's mother, who lives close to him, and she went over to pick up the kids to take them to her house. She asked to keep them with her for the week. I will be down on Thursday for my son's birthday and our trip to the theme park. They will be coming home with me. Contacted my attorney today. We'll be seeing him tomorrow. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It's weird enough that Becky started dating a married man twice her age. It's even weirder that she's not trying to parent your children. Woman needs to step off, or it sounds like your ex is going to lose access to his kids. Up to him to choose, but based on the fact that he blew up your family for an affair, I don't have much faith in him choosing his children over her. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You had some boundaries and she's not accepting them. Not to mention trying to get your kids to call her mom. Did you overreact a little? Possibly. But your ex-husband, and you need to have a sit down and you need to outline these concerns because it's only going to get worse from here. Now for the update. The last time I posted, I was super stressed with my ex's wife, Becky. It's been about a month since the last conflict, and I'm back to tell you what happened. I visited my kids at their grandmother's house for my son's birthday. The atmosphere was tense, but the kids were excited for cake and gifts. The ex was not there during the birthday celebration. When I asked the kids if they were able to talk to their dad on his birthday, they said yes. The kids asked about their dad and Becky, and I avoided talking about them. During the party, I noticed that the kids had new clothes, which were not discussed. I asked them if they were new, and they said they went shopping with Becky. After the party, I took the kids to a local arcade. While playing games, the kids excitedly talked about their summer adventures. My son told me that they went to a baseball game, and they visited Becky's family. He said they drove to the town where Becky's family lives, and they went to the zoo. I didn't know what to say. I was shocked to learn that Becky took the kids to visit her family without telling me. My daughter mentioned that they called Becky Mom during that visit. I just said, "Oh, that's nice." I returned the kids to their grandmother's house that evening. My ex called me to talk about the birthday party. He asked if the kids had a good time, and I said yes. The conversation turned to Becky, and my ex defended her actions. I reminded my ex of our agreement to co-parent respectfully. He argued that it was just a harmless trip, and the kids enjoyed it. A few days later, my daughter texted me about a family dinner that the ex and Becky had planned. The text revealed that they planned to introduce the kids to Becky's family. I was furious. I called my ex and demanded clarity on the dinner plans. He insisted it was a chance for the kids to bond with Becky's family. He accused me of not being supportive of their blended family. The argument escalated, and I hung up. The next day, I got a call from my mom. She told me that Becky had been posting about family dinners on social media. I checked and found multiple pictures of the kids with Becky's family. The kids were smiling and seemed to be having fun in the photos. I felt like I had to do something and contacted my attorney. She suggested changing the custody arrangement to address the situation. I drafted a letter outlining my concerns about Becky's influence. I planned to deliver the letter in person during the next visitation. The visit with the kids was set for the upcoming weekend. When I got there, I found out that the kids were not home yet. When the kids finally arrived, they rushed to greet me with hugs. After a bit, they told me about their fun weekend with Grandma, and I could see they were in a good mood. But honestly, I was still feeling so angry and hurt about everything going on with my ex and Becky. I didn't want to ruin their happiness, so I just nodded along and acted like everything was cool. Later that day, when they were playing outside, I found a moment to sit down with my daughter and talk about the letter. I explained how I felt about the whole situation and why I thought we might need to change things up a bit. She got a little upset, saying she didn't want to hurt her dad, but I reassured her that I just wanted to make sure we all knew what was happening all the time. I gave her the letter to read, and she kind of calmed down a bit. By the end of the visit, we were all back to laughing and being silly like we always do. Yeah, things are still messy, but I guess we'll figure it all out. Thank you all for the support and kind words. Edit. I didn't initially know about the visit to Becky's family. The kids asked about it and told me. My attorney suggested changing custody due to the situation. The kids are okay. Am I the idiot? For refusing to help my ex-fiance's sister pick out an engagement gift for him and his fiancée? Am I the idiot for refusing to help my friend pick out an engagement gift for my ex-fiancé? Am I the idiot for refusing to buy an engagement gift for my ex-fiancé and his fiancée? I, 25-year-old female, met my ex-fiancé when I was 20 through one of my good friends. He is her brother. We dated from 20 to 23 and got engaged during that time. Prior to us meeting, he had a long-term relationship with another girl. I knew about it, but he assured me they were done. Well, they weren't. The day we sent the wedding invitations out, he called it all off. I was devastated and heartbroken like I had never been before and have never been since. I truly thought that that man was my forever, and he just broke it off like nothing. 3 weeks later, he was back with the first girl. I don't think there was any physical overlapping, but emotionally, for sure. They had been talking since we got engaged. Anyway, so that was 2 years ago, and I'm all put back together now and have been for a while. I am currently dating a phenomenal man who would never ever do that to me. I am very happy, and while I had to take a few bumpy roads to get here, I am grateful they took me to him. Anyway, so recently my friend, his sister, let me know that he and the other girl are getting married. I was like, oh lol, cool. Good for him. I guess I said it sarcastically because she gave me a weird face. I was like, girl, what do you want me to say? She was like, maybe just be happy for him. I just said, okay, I hope he's happy. Well, then that night I got a text from him. I don't even have his number saved, but I know it was him because he was like, my sister told me that you weren't enthusiastic about us. I understand, but I just wanted to say I am sorry for everything I did and put you through. I just left him on read, because no, I refuse to go there again. I told my boyfriend and he was like, maybe engagements scare him. Lol. My boyfriend told me I am not obligated to accept his apology, and my mom told me I should have told him some harsher words. I didn't think about it again for another week, until my friend brought it up again. She was like, honestly, it's been bothering me how you reacted. He's still my brother, and I was going to ask you to help me pick out an engagement gift for them. I was like, girl, you have to be kidding. In no way, shape, or form am I happy for them. In fact, I wish their relationship the absolute worst, and I would rather die than pick out an engagement gift for my ex-fiancé and his new fiancé. She got so mad at me, she stormed out of the restaurant. Maybe I was a bit harsh, and maybe I should be over it and be the bigger person, but I just don't care enough to do that. I think I am allowed to wish him the worst, considering he made me apologize to every extended part of my family for receiving an invitation for a wedding that was never going to happen. I was heartbroken and humiliated. Am I the jerk for not being happy for him? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Your friend sucks. I have no idea why she went to you, of all people, to deliver the news and invite you to buy a gift. Does she have no other friends? Why did she think you would be okay with it? Not the idiot. Comment 2. He dumped you and you need to dump the friend. But first, tell her you don't wish him luck or happiness, and at the same time, don't wish him anything bad because you don't care. Now for the update. I'm back again with an update on my life. I know I said I was done with this mess, but here we are. A month has passed since my last post. I've been trying to focus on my own relationship and stay out of my friend's drama, but life had other plans, I guess. My friend, the sister of my ex-fiancé, invited me to a birthday party for a mutual friend at a local brewery. I seriously thought about skipping the party, but I thought I could handle whatever situation would come my way. I didn't want to look like a total loser, so eventually I decided to go. The vibe at the party was chill. There was music, laughter, and good vibes all around. I was trying my best to enjoy myself and not think about the fact that my ex-fiancé and his fiancé were probably going to be there too. Just my luck, I ran into my ex-fiancé who was there with his fiancé. They both looked so damn happy, and let me tell you, it made me feel sick. I wanted to be anywhere but there. I tried to avoid them and stuck with my current boyfriend, who is way better than my ex ever was. But then, my ex came up to me with this fake smile on his face, asking how I've been. I could barely manage a polite response. I kept it short and tried to walk away, but his fiancé overheard us and gave me a dirty look. That was the last straw. The night just kept getting worse. I later saw my friend talking to my ex and his fiancé, laughing and having a good time. They looked so cozy, as if they weren't all just awful people. My friend waved me over and insisted I join the conversation. I reluctantly went over, feeling stuck in this awkward situation. My friend brought up their engagement and asked if I was happy for them. My stomach dropped, and I could barely hide my discomfort. I sarcastically said I wished them well, trying to keep it light. My ex's fiancé smirked and made a comment about how they're finally getting it right this time. That's when the vibe changed, and everyone felt the tension. My current boyfriend tried to change the subject, but it didn't help. My ex tried to lighten the mood by joking about how his last engagement went. The whole thing just made me feel so low. My friend awkwardly laughed, and I could feel the weight of his comment hanging in the air. The party took a turn when someone brought out a photo album showing past parties. My ex pulled out pictures from their engagement party, reminiscing loudly. My heart raced as I tried to ignore the comments about how beautiful I looked back then. His fiancée rolled her eyes, clearly annoyed, and made some snide remarks about the past. I couldn't take it anymore, so I decided to step outside for some air. I needed a break from all the chaos. Outside, I overheard my friend arguing with my ex about how she shouldn't have invited me. The ex insisted that I was over it, while my friend claimed I still held a grudge. I felt so exposed, realizing their conversation was about me. I walked back inside, determined to keep my head high. My current boyfriend found me and asked if I wanted to leave. I was irritated, but I insisted we stay a bit longer. As the evening continued, my ex and his fiancée made a loud toast, drawing everyone's attention. The fiancée made a pointed comment about how she's ready to start a family. My stomach dropped, and it felt like a direct jab at my past. My boyfriend pulled me close, sensing my discomfort. I tried to brush off the comment, but it lingered in the air. So yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. It's like these people can't take a hint. I just want to live my life without constantly being reminded of my past. Edit. A lot of people are asking about my current boyfriend. We've been together for over 2 years, and he's been nothing but supportive and understanding. We've talked about my past, and he knows how much I want to move on. He was at the party with me, and he felt the tension too. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.